kind of like a effect heavy engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could do whatever, you know what I mean? If you want to dry, like that's cool. It's whatever. Like I'll make it sound whatever. You know what I mean? But like I kind of went with the like, you know, it sounds raw still, but it's like spacey, like delays and you know what I mean? Not that much reverb. It's a lot of delays. You know what I mean?
Now speaking of like, you know, the artists that you work with and stuff, is it important to have that connection with the artist?
Absolutely.
Or is it just about the money? Sometimes.
No, you gotta have the connection. Like you gotta like what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like I'd probably say if I've done 10 to 20,000 sessions in my lifetime, there's probably only been 1 or 2 that I didn't actually like being in. You know, because a lot of times when a person feels your vibe, the money isn't really an issue, and those are the type of people that you want to work with anyway. You know what I mean? Because music is energy, and you're exchanging frequencies, not just like on keyboards and drum pads and vocals and stuff like that, but with each other. It's a vibe. Like everyone talks about the vibe in the studio. Well, that's the people that are there. You know, it can be the environment. Like this room has a cool vibe, but usually it's the people that you fill it with.
Would you rather engineer like just you one-on-one with an artist, or do you like the entourage and the?
I do not like the entourage, but because I do a lot of hip hop records, you deal with the entourage. You know what I mean? But the thing is like from doing this for so many years, I know how to spot when it gets past the point that I can tolerate. You know what I mean? And I know how to direct it. Like for instance, if I see more people walking in the room, like if there's 5 people in the room right now, and more people, like a crowd of 4 walks in. I know there's a lounge room or something. I go right to whoever's session it is, whoever's phone you hit to get there, which means that they're the one that's the boss of, you know what I'm saying?
In charge.
I go right to them and just like, hey, you know, the integrity of your sound is what you want, right? You know, you want me to be able to concentrate. I need whoever doesn't really need to be there, because sometimes other people need to be there. Like sometimes they might have a friend who just gives them the energy, the life to do what they, you know what I mean? So I understand having extra people, but like the extras, I just direct them to the other room and try to control this. That's what a real engineer is supposed
Now you
to do,
say
you know
other room. When you record in studios that have rooms, let's get that clear. I mean, sometimes, but I mean, you know, you're not. I want to know you're not in no corner of your room. You know, doing records. These are big records.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know, and then sometimes there's sessions where you can't even say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no right to say anything about any, like, because sometimes I feel lucky to be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, when I worked with Wale or I did something with T.I. and J. Cole, like these were other people that I've become friends with in the industry that hooked me up with these sessions. You know what I mean? So it's like no matter what. It's not like they came calling for me. I was recommended for these things.
Yeah,
so
that's what's
you
up.
kind of got to tiptoe a little bit more. So like, okay, you want 30 people in a room? Okay. All right. Whatever.
Now, but was there, like, when you worked with T.I. and Cole, is there 30 people?
Nah. Actually, they ran really. Tiny was in the room. They had Trey the Truth there. They had another DJ there. Maybe like 2 or 3 other people. So it was like under 10.
Yeah.
But Wale, there was at one point there was probably 20, 25 people in the room.
Wow.
But we actually recorded at his crib, which is kind of like recording at a big studio. Even though he didn't have the big SSL board and everything, you know, they had a nice mic and amp. It was in a nice big size room. You know what I'm saying? Nice big size room with a bit like an 80-inch big screen, and, like couches and like so it was like even though there were people in there, they were kind of like behind you away, like in another part. You know what I mean? Watching
playing
TV,
2K
rolling
and
blunts and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Nah, that's what's up. Now I want to talk about something.
Sure.
You just don't work with big artists. You give the independent guys a shot.
Of course, that's what.
How many people have you recorded that didn't give you credit for recording?
This is a big issue right here.
That's what I want to know.
Look, and this goes along with the hoe ass engineer and hoe ass producer campaign.
Pound
right
sign that.
Right? Yeah, that's gonna be a hashtag.
Hashtag.
You know, it's gonna be.
I call it the pound sign. I'm old school.
Pound sign.
Pound sign.
It is the pound sign. Boom. Right. So, a lot of times, artists will have their engineer sitting in a room before they get there, waiting for them. right? Then you get there, and then they got to deal with your unpreparedness. Not all the time. There's a lot of people that's prepared. You know, this is like not a typical situation I'm describing, but you know, this happens. And if you feel me, you feel me. If you don't, you don't. You know, so I'm there waiting for you, maybe an hour. Then you get there. It's difficult working with you because you're not prepared. You don't know your rhymes, whatever. Then you leave, and I still have to sit with the record. And we do this repeatedly for like 15 records, and then the mixtape or album comes out, and then you forget to put down the credit that this motherfucker worked 500 million hours for to get so that people know his name. Word. You know what I'm saying? And want to come work with him, and you just forget the whole shit on your mixtape. That's kind of fucked up, guys.
Word.
You know? And it happens to engineers and producers, because a lot of and beat makers, you know what I mean, all over the place. Like it's kind of like scumbaggish. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, and that's why I'm a little overbearing these days now with like, yo, dog, you know, put the credit on there, right? Like that's like one of the first things that I even talk to people about.
Yeah.
And like I kind of contemplated doing paperwork with people, but. See, when you deal with majors and stuff like that, like paperwork is essential. Like nothing even happens without paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Like at all, like all caps, at all.
He said all caps, at all.
Pound hashtag. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, artists, if you ain't got no fucking paperwork, yo, stop fucking acting like you millionaire rappers and shit.
You know, oh jeez. Shot him in the ass.
No, yeah, but
yeah, so it's like, you know, if you especially like, and here's the worst insult, like this doesn't happen to me because I don't do nothing without getting paid. That's why I turn a lot of people down, you know. But if people are working, like really working with you and not getting paid, the least you could do is put their name on your mixtape somewhere, like in all caps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that motherfucker deserves that shit.
Word.
You know, when you came in late and you left to go party, he was still working.
Yeah.
And you to me, that's like the spotlight thing that like kind of happened. Like everyone wants to be in the spotlight. Word. You know what I mean? And have people working for them, and have people working for them and everything. No one wants to share the love.
Now,
you know what I mean?
But like, you know, when you're working on like a Wale T.I., you know, record, J. Cole record, and you working on, you know, an independent artist, it's obviously different money. So it's different what you put into the record.
To a degree.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, so how long would you do a mix for like an independent record? What's the proper way to do a mix?
Oh, like if an artist goes on to drsoundmix.com and, you know,
Word.
It's $50 per joint, by the way, on drsoundmix.com.
Okay.
That's
not bad.
Per song, master included, right? And then, you know, if you want other things like acapellas and show mixes and whatever, it's only a couple of dollars add-ons that, you know, I'll send you those joints, radio edit, stuff like that. So that's not bad, and it gets cheaper the more songs you do. But, you know, I'm not putting the same 8 to 10 hours that I would put into a major record for art. I've even put in more records than that. I'll put in that much and go listen to it on like 8 to 10 systems and then be like, gotta change something, and then put another 4 hours in. Yeah. So you spend, me on average, 4 to 12 hours on a mix. It depends on how intricate it is.
On one record.
On one record.
Crazy.
And that hits the radio. All over the country sometimes. And you know what? I don't even know. Sometimes it probably goes international too. I have no idea because I'm not there right now. You know what I mean?
So you don't really, you do so much stuff you don't really keep up with.
It's impossible to. I have no idea. I forget the names and shit. Like people will be like, "What was the name of the song you did with it?" I'm like, "Yo, I have no idea." Like I don't even remember what I just worked on yesterday. Sometimes, like, damn, it's a lot of stuff. Like I have so many drives, DVDs and flash drives and all types of stuff. My emails is back to, like, I have so much stuff that it's hard to remember stuff sometimes. And like that's one of the worst things is, like, especially for independent, like if I mixed your record 3-4 years ago, like sometimes I forget and like I run into people and I'm like, oh, hey.
I can relate. Motherfuckers like, yo, Heavy. I'm like, yo, what's up, my boy?
Hey, what's up, my guy?
Oh, hey. You know?
So that's hilarious. But yeah, so when I mix an independent record, like if I'm in the studio with you and I have a conversation with everybody, and that's another thing I want to address, because sometimes people try to get at me through the rumor mill and stuff like that. Like, yo, he be charging different prices and stuff. Yeah, I charge different prices because people are asking for different things. Like you cannot, all caps, cannot, right? Cannot ask me to give and deliver the same mix that I spent 12 hours on for somebody, for a major artist in a major studio sometimes, you know what I'm saying? With those tools at my access, want me to do the same thing for $50.
Yeah.
It's not happening. Like, if I talk to you and I see what you want and what you're looking for, that $50 is gonna buy a great mix.
Yeah.
But I'm just not gonna have the extra time to tweak it. Because that's really what it comes down to, is like, I've become a professional over the years at doing 20 to 30-minute mixes.
Word.
Because that's what's expected in the independent world, because that's what everybody else is doing, and everyone thinks that that's fine.
It's just because they want to take the record and play it for their fucking boys.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, like, I've become very great at doing that. And honestly, I'm glad that I have that experience of doing that, because it made me better at doing the big records. Because I get the initial imprint done faster now. You know what I mean? Like,
word.
Because that's all it is like your original. Like sometimes you could totally rate. I know this, when you first throw on a beat, the first couple of freestyle bars that you might have might become the beginning of your actual written verse or whatever, because it's that first imprint. Like, oh, this shit is hot. That's the flow right there. All right, let me. You know what I mean? Like, you just go. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's the same thing as an art form with mixing, and a lot of times I get production credit on records too, even if I wasn't there with the recording, because I go so intricate into what I do for people that I deserve a production credit. You know what I mean? I totally shaped and changed the song. I don't just mix it. I'm taking stuff. I'm moving it around. I'm chopping stuff up, adding it in the verse. You know what I mean? All types of things, drops, shit you never heard before.
They don't understand.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a job to really satisfy and I feel like I have more trouble satisfying independent clients than major artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they want so much for so little.
Of course.
You know? And that's why, that's why people get different prices. Because if I just see you're being belligerent and you just want a $50 mix, like, all right, fine, you can get my $50 mix.
Word. Plus, not only that, you build relationships with certain artists, man. If somebody comes through more than, the normal guy, you might charge them a little more because they come through more. You know what I mean? Or
it might go the other way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it also depends, because those are the type of people that you can have real conversations with. That I could literally sit there and be like, yo, Bags, look, do you want a $50 mix? You understand the concept.
Yeah.
Or do you really want me to work on your record? And you could be like, all right, my G, I got one single, so I want you to take your time with that. And the rest you could fly through.
Yeah.
And then I'll come up with a price. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
And that's why people get different prices. And it was, like, so upsetting to me to, like, hear certain things, because, like, I work with people in state, out of state, across the country, all over the place.
Right.
I don't have a lot of international folks. I guess I don't reach out enough on the internet. I don't know. But people from all over. So, it just came back like, why you charge different? So that's
always
the reason
does.
why.
This industry's so big but so small, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. It's like you just have a conversation with me.
Word.
You know what I mean? And we come to a price. That's it. And a lot of times people that spend over and over with me, they get a discount.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course, that's how the game works.
Or sometimes if I'm working with somebody on an indie level and like they understand they paying me maybe a couple $100 per mix or whatever, because I really spend my time on it. They might graduate and get a budget.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like we even had that conversation previous, like, yo, you understand, like I'm hooking it up. So like if you get a budget, let's add another zero. You know what I'm saying? And like, you have those conversations with people and stuff like that. But those are the people, once again, that you want to work with because you built a vibe and a rapport.